Newcastle United have announced the signing of Lewis Hall from Chelsea, and ChronicleLive has taken a look at the boyhood fans' journey to St James Park. You suspect there was a time not so long ago when the Halls were praying Reading and Newcastle United would end up in the Premier League together again. A family friend recalled how the only Reading games the Berkshire-based clan came to watch at the Madejski were when Newcastle played. However, these Newcastle fans are going to get the chance to see the Magpies a whole lot more in the flesh after son Lewis completed his move from Chelsea. It is hard to think of many academy graduates at Chelsea who have openly supported a club hundreds of miles away. But Newcastle were never far from Hall's thoughts as the left back rose through the ranks. Former teammate Xavier Simons knew that better than most. Lewis spoke about it quite a bit, Simons told ChronicleLive. He was always checking the scores on the coach and talking about Newcastle, so I'm delighted for him to get the deal done and go to the team he supports. Read more. Alan Shearer turns the air blue as referee chief Howard Webb owns up to costly Newcastle error. Hall had a rare opportunity to watch his boyhood club from the stands at the Etihad last Saturday ahead of the move being announced. Hall was sat between his parents that night, who have been a huge influence on the 18-year-old and older brother Connor, who plays for Solihull Moors. It was Father Colin, for instance, who is originally from Newcastle, that passed on his love of the club and his own experience as a former professional rugby player. Hall could have quickly fallen foul of the various temptations of life as a young Premier League footballer, but, tellingly, the left back chose to move out of digs to return home when he learned to drive. Hall has never lost touch with those roots in Binfield, a small village in Berkshire, and you will even still spot the teenager turning out for a midweek 11 at his local cricket club in the summer months. Hall also regularly gets back to Binfield Football Club, and this was where Chelsea first spotted the talented youngster all those years ago. Andy Cotton, Hall's first coach at the club, described the defender as exactly the same lad as the boy he encountered who was destined for greater things. We have an annual tournament every year, and there have been a few years where Lewis shouldn't have been playing. And we found him a spot in the team with his old mates, the Binfield chairman told ChronicleLive. He used to play in the tournaments when he could. He came back in May after playing for Chelsea the day before to spend a few hours on the site here giving awards away to the other kids. You wouldn't know he's in the village because there's just no brashness about the guy at all. You notice no change in him. He is so cool, so calm. He doesn't do this for the adulation. He never has. Once upon a time, it was Hall clearing up the club's end-of-season awards and taking home, literally, every gong in his age group. No wonder Chelsea signed Hall in at the age of just 8. A lot has changed in the last decade. But there were some glimpses of what was to come even in those early days at Binfield, how Hall never got flustered. His vision and unselfishness in setting up teammates. The way he struck a ball, you can see why some opposition sides had to resort to kicking Hall just to stop him. Hall ran riot in the middle of the park then, and it was in this position that the 18-year-old made his name at Chelsea's academy. Xavier Simons, who was a couple of years older, saw that first hand. Lewis was a great player to have in your team, the former Chelsea midfielder said. He was a young boy coming through, naturally, as a centre mid, so I sort of took him under my wing, and he was always keen to learn. He is someone on the pitch that affects the game. You look to him to change the game, to get a goal or to get an assist. He is a very powerful player and technically very gifted. Hall actually based his game on Kevin De Bruyne and Frank Lampard, which makes his seamless transition to playing at left back at senior level all the more striking. Yet that versatility has been a constant throughout. Dion Rankin, who also came through at Chelsea, called Hall a really special talent after seeing the club's departed academy. Player of the Year operate as a winger for the under-18s, a centre back for the development squad and a left back for the men's team. All in the space of a single campaign last season. There are so many qualities that Lewis has that it's difficult to sum it up. But he's so versatile, Rankin told ChronicleLive. He can pretty much do anything on the pitch. It's crazy. It makes it so much easier when you have a player in the team like that. Sometimes, there are times on the pitch when it looks like it's certain he's going to lose the ball. He's trapped and there's 3 players around him. You almost start tracking back thinking, yeah, get ready to defend, and then he somehow wriggles his way out of it.